Have you ever seen someone pick a fight they couldn't possibly win? Well, buckle up, because this story might be the funniest and most insane naval encounter you'll ever hear. It's 10:50 in the morning in the Persian Gulf. The sun is blazing, the sea is calm, and the USS Fitzgerald, one of US Navy's most advanced destroyers, is cutting through international waters. On board, sailors are going about their regular routines, nothing unusual, until the radar picks up a blip. And not just any blip. An Iranian Navy helicopter is flying straight at them. Now, you might think, okay, so what? Helicopters fly around all the time. But this one had a mission: force an American warship to change course and somehow prove Iran controls these waters. Ambitious, right? Here's where it gets hilarious. Inside the Fitzgerald Combat Center, the sailors watch this relic approach with a mix of amusement and disbelief. Because this isn't just any helicopter, it's basically a flying museum piece. A 1970s era anti-submarine helicopter, older than most of the crew flying it. And it's trying to intimidate a 10,000-ton destroyer equipped with some of the most powerful weapons on Earth. The Fitzgerald's radar system, the legendary Aegis combat system, is built to track ballistic missiles in space. Space! And today, it's being asked to log on to a helicopter with tech older than disco music. And if you're wondering how mismatched this is, listen to this. The Fitzgerald carries 90 missile launch shells. Its engines generate 100,000 horsepower. It can track over 100 targets and guide multiple missiles at once. Meanwhile, this Iranian chopper has radar tech from the Vietnam War and engines so old they wheeze like a retiree climbing stairs. But the Iranians have their orders. Get close, gather intel, and make some propaganda footage. That's the real goal here. Make a video showing the mighty Iranian military confronting the Americans. It's a playbook straight from the 1980s tanker war. Okay, the giant, and hope it reacts. Except the giant isn't reacting. Inside the Fitzgerald, the threat computer assigns the helicopter a track number and instantly identifies it as a negligible threat. The Aegis system even calculates 47 different ways to destroy it in seconds. If this were a war, the chopper would already be aluminum confetti falling into the ocean. But today isn't about war, it's about watching this comedy unfold. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Every single time the Iranian helicopter switches on its radar, sends a radio call, or even uses its navigation beacon, the Fitzgerald records it. They're building an electronic fingerprint of the aircraft. Why? Because next time, American jammers will know exactly what frequencies to target to blind and confuse them. The Iranians are basically teaching the US Navy how to defeat them while trying to scare them. You can't make this up. Meanwhile, inside the Iranian helicopter, things are far from heroic. The cockpit rattles with every gust of wind, and the warning lights on the panel blink like they're auditioning for a disco revival. Some don't even work anymore, just taped over because spare parts disappeared decades ago. The rotor bearings whine with an awful metallic groan, like an old hinge overdue for oil. The pilot glances at the fuel gauge and feels his stomach tighten. It's dropping fast. At this rate, they've maybe 45 minutes of flight time left, if the engine keeps running. And with these ancient T-58 engines wheezing louder than a chain smoker, that's a big if. Still, they keep going. Orders are orders. The destroyer is now clearly visible on the horizon. The pilot grabs the radio mic, his voice heavy with accent and nerves. Through static, he calls out, "American warship, you're approaching Iranian territorial waters. Change course immediately. Repeat, change course immediately." For him, it's a bold declaration. For the Fitzgerald's crew, it's about to become pure comedy. The Fitzgerald sailors can't help but laugh. They've been in international waters all morning, and they know it. To make it even funnier, they have a female sailor respond over the radio, just to irritate the Iranians even more. But the real intelligence gathering is happening quietly in the background. The Fitzgerald records every single frequency and transmission. There's no encryption on the Iranian side. They're literally using open civilian channels like a 1980s Radio Shack scanner. This is like giving your enemy your playbook for free. And thanks to the US military's Link 16 data link system, think of it like a military WhatsApp group. Every American ship and aircraft within hundreds of miles is watching this drama unfold in real time. If this were a real fight, 6 different American ships could take out this helicopter before it even got close. But let's keep following the comedy. The Iranian pilot pushes the helicopter lower, down to 500 feet above the waves. He wants this to look aggressive on camera, something Iranian state TV can later show as a big victory. The old chopper groans under the stress. The Fitzgerald doesn't even flinch. The sailors on deck keep working. One of them even waves at the helicopter like it's a sightseeing tour boat. Ouch! The pilot radios again. Change course immediately. Final warning. Final warning? Buddy, you couldn't hurt that destroyer even if you tried. The Fitzgerald's defenses have 3 layers. Long-range missiles at 90 miles, medium-range missiles at 27 miles, and the Sea Whiz Gatling gun for point defense. That last one can fire 4,500 rounds per minute, basically a wall of tungsten. Against a helicopter moving slower than some sports cars, it wouldn't stand a chance. But the Americans aren't wasting ammo. They're not even raising the alert level. Why would they? The Iranian helicopter is already burning so much oil that it's leaving a smoke trail like an old lawnmower. And remember that fuel gauge? It's getting scary low now. One of the engines is showing low oil pressure and climbing temperature. The crew chief taps the pilot on the shoulder. Translation: we need to leave now before this bird falls out of the sky. But then, something happens that Iranian TV will love. The Fitzgerald makes a scheduled navigation turn. It has nothing to do with a helicopter, it's just a waypoint change. But the Iranian pilot sees it and jumps on the radio to declare victory. "The American warship is retreating," he proudly claims. Back on the Fitzgerald, the sailors are howling with laughter. They're recording every second of this. It's going to make for some incredible entertainment at the evening intel brief. And sure enough, within hours, Iranian state TV will play this up with dramatic music and grainy footage, claiming they defended their waters. The truth? They risked an irreplaceable antique helicopter just to get some propaganda clips, and nearly ran out of fuel doing it. Meanwhile, the Fitzgerald just kept cruising along, barely noticing. This entire incident is the perfect example of how modern naval power and outdated harassment tactics collide. The US destroyer didn't need to fire a shot. It didn't need to flex its muscles. The real battle was electronic. The data collected from that helicopter will make it even easier to neutralize threats in the future, and the Iranians basically handed it over on a silver platter. Crazy, right? And that's why this story is both hilarious and a little bit scary. While the Iranian helicopter never posed any real danger, it shows how far some nations will go to create an image of strength, even when the reality is very different. But what do you think? Was this mission bold or just plain foolish? Before you answer, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more insane real-life military encounters, and ring the bell so you never miss a story like this. Trust me, the next one we've got lined up is even wilder. So, what's your take? Let me know in the comments. Was the Iranian helicopter brave, reckless, or just comic relief? Either way, one thing's for sure, the USS Fitzgerald never even broke a sweat.